Mr. President, if you could invite Mrs. Block to come up to the
Mrs.
podium.
Block, would you please come forward?
Mr. President, I had asked to be the one to provide this proclamation to Mrs. Block, and I have a couple very personal reasons to do that. And one of those reasons is because that Mrs. Block has taught 3 of my 4 children, and it's only by happenstance of her retirement that it's not likely she'll be teaching Ryan, but the fact that she taught the older 3 means a lot to me. And people may not know this, but I am the son of a school teacher and the grandson of a school teacher. And my mother would say, Larry, you know the 3 greatest things about teaching? And I'd say, no. And she'd say, June, July, and August. And then she would laugh, because she knew that teaching is the single greatest optimistic act that a person could perform. And while we know that today, that's not a modern thought. Confucius said that if you plan for a year, plant a seed. And if you have to plan for a decade, plant a tree. But if you have to plan for a century, teach the people. And it isn't just an optimistic act. It's a selfless act. Like a candle burns itself away, lighting the way for others. A teacher consumes herself, illuminating the way for others. And a good teacher does more than tell people things. A good teacher explains, but a very good teacher demonstrates. And a great teacher inspires. And so we just wanted to thank Mrs. Block for inspiring so many St. Denis families, parents and students, for your selfless, for your optimistic dedication to the art of teaching. So if I may, whereas the Board of Commissioners and the residents of Haverford Township wish to recognize a dedicated woman of teaching, and whereas the Board of Commissioners and the residents of Haverford Township are proud to acknowledge and thank Mrs. Rita Block for her 33 years of service to the students and families of St. Denis Parish School. And whereas Rita Block started teaching in January 1977 and is now teaching her 29th third grade class, but her time at St. Denis spans 33 years, her entire adult life. And whereas Mrs. Block has 2 sons, Adam and Andrew, who both attended St. Denis School. And whereas in her time at St. Denis School, Mrs. Block has served as a wonderful mentor to new teachers, chairing and participating on many committees, including but not limited to the Middle States Action Plan Committee, Instructional Support Team, Sunshine Club, Grant Writing, Handbook Committee, Liturgy Committee, Mercy Day Committee, and Catholic Schools Week Committee, and has supported her colleagues as the Social Studies Curriculum Coordinator. And whereas some of her traditions her students have enjoyed over the years are the yearly field trip to Philadelphia and the 4th of July picnic held each May in Merwood Park. And whereas Mrs. Block enjoys riding her bike on the boardwalk, cooking for family and friends, and I don't know how she found the time, but traveling almost every one of the 50 states and would like eventually to reach them all. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed by the Board of Commissioners of the Township of Haverford, County of Delaware, Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, that our thanks and best wishes are extended to Mrs. Rita Block for a happy, healthy, and fully deserved retirement. Proclaimed this 14th day of June, year of our Lord, 2010. Call the students up. We'll get one picture with everybody. Maybe we want to do it right here.
I'll hold it this way.